The twins sat in silence, their eyes fixed on nothing. The millionaire lowered his head, ashamed. Doctors had said they would never see light again. Then, without warning, the new maid stepped forward, her voice calm, her presence unshakable. And in that moment, everything began to change. The grand mansion stood quiet, its golden halls echoing with an emptiness money could not fill. The millionaire sat in the study, his fists clenched, his pride shattered. His twin children sat nearby, their small hands folded, their eyes open yet unable to meet his. Blindness had stolen their childhood, and no wealth, no influence, no doctor in shining white coats had restored it. The father was powerful in the outside world, yet powerless here. And with each passing day his frustration grew. It was in this silence that the new maid arrived. Her uniform was plain, her presence humble. Some dismissed her with a glance, whispering doubts, questioning why the family would entrust fragile children to a stranger from far away. But she carried herself with a strength that was quiet, steady, and unshaken by their words. The children felt it first. Her footsteps were soft, but each carried purpose. She did not treat them as broken glass. She placed their hands on objects, guided their fingers across textures, and whispered, "The world is still here. You can touch it. You can feel it." Her story was hidden beneath her silence. Few knew that she had once served as a nurse in war zones, where screams filled the night and hope was often the only medicine left. She had cared for the wounded, the forgotten, those who returned with scars the world could not see. She had watched soldiers lose their sight in fire and dust, yet she had also seen them rise, teaching themselves to live, to fight, to walk into the light of dignity again. Those memories lived in her hands. Every time she touched the children's shoulders, every time she encouraged them to stretch their arms, to walk without fear, it was as though she was passing on a strength carved from years of sacrifice. The millionaire watched with suspicion at first. His pride resisted the idea that someone so simple could offer what the finest doctors could not. Guests murmured at dinners, their eyes sliding toward the maid, some mocking, some doubting. The father felt their judgment burn against him, but the maid never wavered. Day by day, she built a world for the twins that no wealth had ever built for them. She brought them outside, letting them breathe the smell of cut grass, letting their fingers brush against the bark of old trees. She taught them to listen, not just with ears, but with their whole bodies. The laughter that returned to the house was soft at first, but it spread like fire. Then came the day that broke him. He entered the garden, expecting silence, but instead he saw the twins standing tall, their faces lifted toward the sun. Their eyes, once vacant, now glimmered with traces of light. The doctors had been wrong. The maid's patience, her relentless belief, had awakened what medicine had not. The father fell to his knees, his heart pounding. How did you do this?" he whispered, his voice breaking. She looked at him with quiet dignity and replied, "I did not give them sight. I gave them courage. Sometimes light is not found by searching with eyes, but by refusing to stop walking." The words cut through the walls of pride. The guests who had once doubted stood speechless. The children, holding the maid's hands, seemed no longer fragile but unshakable, as if her strength had become their own. And in that moment power shifted. The millionaire, once the center of every room, now stood in awe of a woman the world had overlooked. True strength, she had shown, is not loud. It is silent, steady, and unstoppable. The children laughed, their voices ringing through the mansion like bells. And for the first time in years, the house was not filled with wealth, but with life. This story reminds us that dignity and strength do not come from titles or riches, but from unseen sacrifices and quiet hearts that refuse to give up. Respect costs nothing, yet it can change everything. Share in the comments where you are watching from and what this story means to you. Subscribe for more powerful stories that honor silent heroes and unforgettable life lessons.